Pregame.com.
I'm projecting the clock will strike midnight on Sister Jean and Cinderella Loyola-Chicago on Saturday. This is Brad Powers, Pregame.com studios, just off the Vegas Strip. We're talking Final Four. It's semifinal number 1 between the number 11 seeded Loyola-Chicago against the number 3 seeded Michigan.
Now, Loyola has been my Cinderella team since I'm in Vegas. It's almost an SIN-derella team, but you are being the devil going against Sister Jean. Tell me why.
Yep, taking Michigan here. That's right. We like the Wolverines minus the 5. To me, it's all about Loyola-Chicago. For the first time all season, has become overrated. That's right. The number 11 seed has become overrated. Why? Well, let's look at Loyola-Chicago's path to this Final Four. Obviously, entering the NCAA tournament, Loyola-Chicago was underrated. Vegas was close to it as far as you look at their first game against a number 6 seed, that game right around pick'em. In fact, Loyola-Chicago's 3 of their 4 games have been right around pick'em, despite them being a number 11 seed. But Loyola benefited from playing not only not playing the number 1 seed, not playing the number 2 seed, not playing Arizona or Kentucky, 2 very talented teams, but also playing 4 teams that all of them were missing a key starter. You look at Miami, missing their guard Brown. Nevada missing their point guard Drew in that one, and then obviously Kansas State missing their big man. So Loyola-Chicago benefited from not only an easy path, but playing a bunch of banged-up teams. Take Michigan.
Loyola, a very experienced team, guys who played together forever. Look at their guards, Custer and Richardson. In contrast, they've gotten to play a lot of teams that have very limited experience.
So not only did they not play the top seeds in their regions, they also played some banged-up teams missing a key starter, but they also faced inexperienced teams. You look at, do the math. We'll do the Fez math. And real simple, played 4 teams so far, 5 starters on each team, 20 possible starters, only 3. That's right, 3 were senior starters that they faced so far. Not going to be the case against Michigan, who has 2 senior starters, 2 junior starters, not a single freshman starter. This is the most experienced team by far that Loyola's faced.
You know, I got to tell you, I've been dancing with Loyola since the conference tourney, and they've made me a lot of money. I can't go away from them, but I do think this is very strongly correlated in this game. If you like Michigan, I think you got to like over. If there's 150 points scored, Michigan very likely to cover. If there's only 120 points, Loyola likely to cover also. If Loyola does cover, I think it's very likely they win by 1-5 or they lose by 1-5. None of that crazy fouling in the final 2.5 minutes. So personally, I'm going to be on the parlay of Loyola plus 5.5 with the under 129.5.
And it makes a lot of sense. I think if you're looking dog in this one, and let's be honest, Fez, this is the Final Four. This isn't the greatest value bet of the entire season. That's been long gone. It's probably since, for the most part, conference tournament action. But if you like a Michigan, if you like the favorite, take the over. If you like the dog, like the under. I agree with you there.
Talk to me about your power ratings. How much have you upgraded each of these teams, and how far apart are they in your power ratings right now?
So Loyola-Chicago, 4 points. You know, more than any other team in the Final Four.
4-point upgrade.
4-point upgrade for Loyola-Chicago since the start of the NCAA tournament. By far more than any of the other Final Four teams. But it hasn't been significant because keep in mind, they've been playing a lot of close games, and the lines have been relatively close. It's not like they've been a huge underdog in 3 of the 4 games. Michigan, believe it or not, only a half-point upgrade on Michigan, despite them making the Final Four. Well, I expected Michigan to make the Final Four. Coming into it, I had Michigan as the number 5 overall team in the country, and now just the market is catching up to my power rating, so no major upgrade for Michigan.
So Michigan goes up 0.5, Loyola up 4. How far apart are they right now?
Still, I say this line should be closer to 6. So Michigan about a 6-point difference here, hence the value on Michigan minus 5.
Your second key handicap.
Second key handicap, let's talk about a specific weakness for Loyola-Chicago, and it's a significant one because they're one of the worst teams out of the entire country in offensive rebounding percentage. Number 334 in the country. Hasn't been a factor so far in the tournament. Why? Because Loyola-Chicago hasn't needed offensive rebounding when you're hitting better than 50% from the field. I don't think that's going to be the case against a top 5 Michigan team on defense, and also a Michigan team that's in the top 20 as far as defensive rebounding percentage.
Now, Kansas State has a fine defense themselves. They're playing very well, and Loyola-Chicago shot 57% against them. Why can't they do it against Michigan?
That's a great point, and a little bit of a worry, but also we'll go back to the first handicap. It was a Kansas State team missing not only their interior guy, but their best player in Dean Wade. So that's not going to be the case here with a very healthy Michigan team.
I'm going to stick with my Loyola and under parlay. I wish you well going against Sister Jean. Make it official.
Right back at you, but you're wrong on this one. We're taking Michigan minus 5. Why? Loyola-Chicago for the first time all season overrated because they benefited from a relatively easy path to the Final Four, taking advantage of not only a young teams that they face, but also banged up teams. And Loyola-Chicago, one of the worst teams in the entire country in offensive rebounding. I don't expect them to hit better than 50% from the field against Michigan's defense. Therefore, no second chance points for Loyola, and the slipper won't fit anymore for Loyola. They're going home on Saturday night. Go Big Blue on this one. They roll. More videos at pregame.com.